Good afternoon, student. For today's session, second session of Microsoft Office, we have Rajni sir with us. Sir, you can carry out with your class, sir.
All right. Thank you so much, Kunal.
Sir, there is
Yeah,
some I don't know disturbance in your mic. I don't know why.
I didn't get you. What?
Some disturbance, background noise are coming.
Is that so? But my
Yes,
voice
sir.
is clear, no?
Voice is clear, sir.
Fine, fine. Because there is a small function also happening in my home.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Not an issue. You can carry out.
But if my voice is getting disturbed, please let me know.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir.
All right. Okay. So good afternoon, students. Morning we had learned in depth about the conditional formatting features in Excel. Okay, there are still lot many options available in conditional formatting. We had left out a small thing. Uh, Morning when we tried to get the entire row, formatted, we couldn't get it right. We couldn't get it. Uh, it was not working properly. I have found a solution for that because I made a mistake while doing the formula. So here what I'm going to do is let us write the function here. Okay, the two conditions which we had decided was the state name should be Karnataka and quantity greater than 50. Okay, these were the two conditions. So in this case, I'm also going to do something else here. I am going to add a dollar symbol here and here also a dollar symbol. Okay, remember and notice that I am not putting a dollar sign in the raw. I'm not putting a dollar sign in the raw, but I'm only putting dollar sign in front of the column ID only. This is called mixed reference. Okay, because row 2 is relative reference and column C is absolute reference. This is called mixed reference. In the same cell reference, we are using both relative and absolute together. Okay, there are cases where we can do that, right? So I am just putting it here because let us get the answers here. Let us get the result also. And function will return only true or false. Yesterday I had told you that. Okay, and we need only and function here. I'll copy this and function, including this dollar sign. Okay, and I will go to the. I'll select the whole data and conditional format home tab conditional formatting, new rule. All these steps we had discussed. Use a formula and paste that formula here. Put an is equal to symbol. Give a formatting. Put bold and fill with a blue color and font color maybe I'll take dark blue. Okay. Click on OK. And here also I'll put an OK. Now I am getting all the values. Karnataka and quantity greater than 50 is getting a blue color. Okay, so when we did it in the afternoon in the morning session, I did not have used this absolute referencing. I mean, I did not use this mixed referencing. That was why I was only getting one particular column formatted, but the other column did not get formatted. Hope it's clear now. Now we are getting the whole row uh, getting formatted. Right. Now I'll remove all the rows. I mean, remove the conditional formatting. I don't want this column also. I'll delete the column. Now, now we are going to learn something called tables in Excel. So you might be thinking all these are tables. Then what is, again there is a table? Yes, we have a concept or feature called a table in Excel. This is a normal range. Currently we are having only a normal range. But if we convert it to a structured table, then so many things we can do. We get so much of features additional to normal range. And most of our work will get simpler also when we are working with a table. All right. So we are going to learn about the tables now, and one second. All right. So let us first convert our whole range to a table. Then let us see what are all the features available when we are converting a normal data to a table. And I always suggest you to convert the data to a table if it is a big amount of data you are working on. Okay. Always try to convert the whole data to a table before you start working on it, especially if it is a bigger amount of data. Right. Now, how to convert this to a table? Step number 1 is Control A to select the whole data. Step number 2, Control T, T for table, Control and T key. So here I'll get a small box like this. Just click on OK. Only 3 steps we have converted this to a table. Control A, Control T, and click on OK. That is all. Now, as soon as we have converted this to a table, the first and foremost thing which we can notice here is we can see that the complete look and feel of the data has been changed. It was just plain white text, but now we have got some colors for the rows, some colors for the columns, headings have been changed. So many things we can see here now. Clear? Now, the first and foremost feature in a table is that you can change the complete design. You can change the complete color pattern of this table in one single click. You don't even have to select the whole table, not needed. Just to select any one cell inside the table. Just to select any one cell inside the table. When you select any cell inside the table, you will get an additional tab called a table design. Okay, table design will not be there when it is not a table. Okay, only when you are inside a table, you will get table design. Inside a table design, we have got some table styles. Again, we have this particular button where we can go for more styles. And click here. There are light styles, there are medium styles, and there are dark color styles. Any colors you can choose. For example, I am choosing this. Let me choose this particular thing. Yeah. So the whole table, the style of the whole table has been changed in one single click. As I told you, you don't even have to select the whole data. You don't have to color this one row by one row, not needed. Okay, only in one single click will you get the whole table style converted. That is one feature of this. Second feature. Okay, one more thing which you need to understand, for each and every table you create in Excel, it will have a unique table name. Okay, So when we are going to the table design, on the leftmost side, you will find this table name. Now, this is table 2. By default, I am getting table 2. It can be table 1, table 3, anything. Okay, by default, it will give you a name. And this name cannot be repeated in any other tables in this workbook, because this should be a unique name. Now, if you wanted to change the name, it is also possible. Under the table name, click here and type the new table name, order data, something like this. Okay, order data, and press enter. Now this table name is order data. Okay, we will see where is this table name used. Okay, after some time I will be taking you through structured referencing where we are going to use table names. Fine. Now, another feature in a table, when you convert this to a table, is, for example, you have quantity column here, you have unit price column here, and you have total price column here. In quantity column, under the quantity column, I want the total of the quantity. In the unit price column, I want the average of unit price, and total price column, I want the total of the total price. Because I want the sum here, I want the average here, I want the sum here again. How do we do it normally? We come here, we'll put is equal to, we'll select, we'll give the function name, we'll select the whole data, we'll select the whole data and press enter, you will get the sum. You will get the sum. Yeah.
Students are saying, can you share the whole screen, because sometimes it get blank when you shifted something. So you can share the sheet entire home screen, not only the Excel one.
Sure.
Yes, the screen is visible. You can continue, sir.
Yeah. So what I was trying to tell is, we need to find this sum of the quantity, average of the unit price, and sum of the total price. So normally we had to put a function in each of the column to find the sum and average. Clear? But when you are converting this to a table, and let us go to the table design, you have an option called total raw here. Currently this is disabled. Now I will enable this. By clicking on this box, I have enabled the total raw. So as soon as you enable the total row, you will find that one additional row has been added. One additional row has been added to this particular file, to this particular table. This row was not there before, and I did not add this manually. When did it come? When I clicked on this total row. When I enabled the total row, I got this particular raw. Now, as I told you earlier, I want the total of the quantity. You don't have to put a function here. Just to select the cell, click on the drop down and click on sum. Select the cell, click on the drop down and click on the sum. You have got the sum. You don't have to write function. Here I want the average, right? Select the cell, click on the drop down and click on average. I've got the average. So you don't have to write the function at all. Here the total is already automatically being populated. As soon as we had added the total row, I got the total value of this column automatically. So that is the benefit of, that is another benefit of converting this to a table. You don't have to write functions for each and everything. Clear? So that is total row. Now, you can see a shading in every alternate rows, right? This row is having a dark shading. This row is having a dark shading. So imagine I don't want this dark shading in all alternate rows. So here in the table design, you have something called a banded rows. Table design, you have something called banded rows. I can disable it. Okay. As soon as I disabled it, I cannot see any shading in any of the alternate rows. Alternate rows shading has been taken off. How is it possible? We have disabled the banded rows. I can enable this again. It might take some time. Yeah, I have enabled this again. Now I have got the shading in all the alternate rows. And we have something called banded columns also. Banded columns is, now this is rows and this is columns. Every alternate columns will get the shading. Not all the columns, only the alternate columns will get the shading. That is banded columns. So banded rows and banded columns. That is also possible in table. Okay. Now let us learn about a concept called structured referencing. Structured referencing is only possible through a table. Only if this is a table, we will be able to use structured referencing. Now, what is structured referencing and how do we benefit out of it? How do we use it and how do we benefit out of it? Structured referencing is a way of referring the cells. Okay, we used to how all can we refer the cell? Either we can use the cell address, that is one, right? For example, you wanted to put a formula to find the sum of a range. What do? We give is equal to sum of that range. Let me open a notepad so that I can also give you. Is the notepad clear, Kunal? Is the notepad visible?
Yes, sir, visible. Yes, sir. Notepad is visible, sir.
All right. So we have three types of cell referencing. One is normal referencing, where we will put is equal to sum of C3 to C10, something like this. So we use the normal cell addresses in the range. Next one is referencing using named range. This also we had seen. We can name this range to something, maybe is equal to sum of quantity. Okay, this is referencing using named range. Now, third one is structured referencing. Most of the professional work with the table and structured referencing. They don't use named ranges. I mean, I'm not telling they never use it, but they hardly use it. And they don't even use this normal cell addressing also, normal referencing also. Okay, normally most of the professionals work with structured referencing. When will structured referencing, when can we use structured referencing? If the data is in an Excel table. Okay, we have to convert the data to a table, to a recognized Excel table for us to use structured referencing. Now, what all things do we need when we use structured referencing? We need the table name and the column name. Table name and the column name. Both of these things we need when we are using structured referencing. We had already seen what is the table name. Where did we get the table name from? We got the table name from table design, and we had changed the table name to order data. So our table name currently is order data. Now, what is a column name? Each of the headings is a column name. Order ID is a column name. Order date is a column name. State is a column name. City is a column name. So each and every column headings are column name. This can also be called as field. Okay. Now, when we wanted to refer a particular field in a table, first we need to give the table name. Then we need to open the square bracket, not the curve bracket. Okay. Please note, this is not a curve bracket, it's a square bracket. And inside the square bracket, you can write the column name. For example, quantity. Quantity is a column name. So we are not giving any range names. Okay. We have not set any range names, but automatically this column is getting name as quantity. This column is getting a name as quantity because we had converted this to a table. Okay. In named range, what happened? Named range, we had to manually go there, select a range and give a name. Right? Here we are not giving a name. We are not giving any names. We are only setting one name, which is the table name. Okay, this is how we use structured referencing. So the table name followed by a square bracket. Inside that we can give the field name. Now, let us assume I want the total of the quantity in another sheet. Not in the same sheet. I want the total of the quantity in another sheet. We don't have to navigate to that sheet at all. Only thing we need to know the column name and the table name. That's all. If we know that, we don't have to go to the sheet at all to get this value done. So I'll put the formula is equal to sum. I'll open the bracket. Inside this, I will use that structured referencing. Okay. So how do we use the structured referencing? As we told, we need to start with the table name followed by the field name. So start with the table name, order data. Now, when I start typing order data, I'm automatically getting the suggestion of that table name. This table name is automatically suggested. They are suggesting you with the table name. You can double click on it if you want, so that there is no mistakes in this table name. You can either manually type it or double click on that suggestion. Now, as soon as you put the square bracket, all the fields in the table will be listed here. Okay. Now you can just double click on the field from which you want the sum from. I'll double click on the quantity. Now I need to close the square bracket, close the sum bracket and press enter. So this is the total of the quantity column. Now imagine I am updating. Okay, let us just write this value 15,442. Okay, just to compare. Okay, now I am going to change a value here. I'm going to change this value to 210. Now let us go here. Is this changed? It was 15,442. Now it is changed to 15,542 because there is an increase of 100, which we have made in the source data. In the table, we have made a change. That change is automatically getting updated in the formula also. So this is how we use structured referencing. So imagine we wanted to use a sum if function. Okay, sum if function to find the total sales in Kerala state. Okay, I'm putting Kerala here. I want to find the total sales in Kerala state. How do we do it? We use the sum if function, right? So if this was not a table, it would have been very tedious process for us, because every time I need to go back to the other sheet and come back here, go back to the other sheet and come back here. So many, and inside that also there can be errors also. Sometimes it will shoot errors also. But if it is a structure of, if it's a table, we can easily use structured referencing for all these things. So sum if we have started. What is the range? We know it. The range is the state name, because state column is where we have to search for this value. So I need to select the state. How do we refer that? First thing, the table name, square bracket. Here I'll double click on the state. I'll close the square bracket, put a comma. Now the criteria. Where is the criteria? Criteria is this. Comma. Now I need to find the sum. From which column do we need to find the sum from? Order data, square bracket. I need to find the sum from the total price. This column is to be summed together. Bracket close, enter. I have got the total sale value of Kerala. I'll change this to Karnataka. I've got the total sales value for Karnataka. So you are not at all navigating to this sheet. Okay, you don't have to navigate to this sheet to get that column selected. You can use this structured referencing if the data has been converted to a table. So this is one major benefit of converting the normal data to a table. All right. Now, one second. Let me have that function again. Okay, let me have this function again. Now, 132 65.53 was the value. Now, let me change the value of one Karnataka data. Okay, this is the Karnataka data. I am going to change the quantity so that automatically the total price also will be calculated, because I've put a formula here to find the total price. I'll make this as 539. So now total price has been changed for Karnataka. Is there a change? There is a change. Now, next scenario. I am going to add one more data. Let me switch off this total row. Now I am going to add one more data to this table, one more entry. New order has come. Now I want to add that order also. So this is maybe order 355. Date is something. This is Karnataka, Anglo. All these items are same only. Okay. So there should be an updation, right? 162 has been added. Is it reflected? That is also reflected in this. So when we are converting this to a table, whenever we add a row, adjacent to the table, your table gets updated automatically. The table get updated automatically. Right? That is another benefit. So you don't have to bother what is the range I have selected. Is it B1 to B10? Then if B11, if we are getting one more data, what will happen? Nothing of that sort is to be thought of. It will automatically get adjusted. Not to worry at all. Even if you are adding one more column here, just near to this table, that column also will become a part of this table. If you are adding one more column here, that column also will become a part of this table. Only thing, you need to add the column adjacent to the table. If you're adding a column here, that will not be added because there is a gap. So this is another benefit of converting this to a table. Right. And one more thing which we can understand here is we have the filter button, everything enabled automatically. You don't have to add a filter button. Automatically the filter button is added. And if you don't want the filter button to be there, you can go to the table design. You can disable this filter button. You can disable this filter button. Now there is no filter button. But by default, when you are converting this to a table, all the columns will get a filter button automatically. That is also one more change. I'm just pausing here. If you have any questions regarding this table, you can ask it now.
Sir, I have already posted the question in published section. You can check it out from there. Yeah.
Okay. Total row is not enabling in PC. Every PC will have that. If you have converted that to a table correctly, or there may be a problem that you have opened a read-only file, then it will not happen. I won't able to click total row in my laptop. I don't know why you have the problem. Normally there is no problem. Only if I can see see that screen, then only I'll be able to understand what exactly is the problem. How can I get the sheet for practice? I've already told this in the morning. I think you did not attend the morning session. We are thinking of sharing these files in a drive, but you will get it not today. Maybe very soon we will be updating that files in the drive and try to share it to you. Okay, currently just prepare some sample data and work on it and practice on it at this point of time. Any other questions? I'll go to the new 1 second. Understood. What filter button do? Filter button we can use for the filter. You did not attend to my yesterday's class. I think we had explained in detail about the filters. We can filter the data. How to convert the data into a table? I think again you are late, but still I'll tell you. Control A. First select the all data. All the data should be selected by pressing Control A. Then Control T. T for table, and then you will get a box. Click on OK on that box. That's all. Guys, please be on time when you are joining. No, I'm not. I've not shared the screen. Don't worry. I've stopped the screen share now. For I've not shared the screen. I've paused the screen share for now, for you to ask any questions in this regard. If you are clear, how do you get the square bracket? It's there in the keyboard, Baba. In the keyboard, we have a square bracket.
I have posted every question in published section, sir. You can check it out from there only.
Please tell that Control A and Control T. Okay. Yes, it's right. Again, structure referencing as SUMIF. Okay, I'll explain that structured referencing. SUMIF using structured referencing once again. Okay. So here I am going to get the total sales of Karnataka. Okay, is equal to sum if equal to sum if. Okay, and where is the range? From which range do we have to search for this Karnataka data? It is in the state column. How do we refer to state column using structured referencing? The first thing you need to select, give the order. I mean, you need to enter the table name, then put a square bracket. Inside the square bracket, you have all the column IDs. Double click on the state column, square bracket close, and put a comma. Second parameter is this only. Here you don't have to go for a structured referencing. Comma. Third parameter, again, you need to get the sum from the total sales of order data. So let us do that. Let us select that data using structured referencing. Order data. Inside order data, we have total price. Square bracket close, curve bracket close, and press enter. This is how you use structured referencing for SUMIF. Not even for SUMIF, for any formulas for that matter, you can use structured referencings. And you don't have to even bother about the relative referencing problem in this. You will not get any relative referencing problem if you are using this. You don't have to make it absolute referencing, nothing. This structured referencing is by default absolute referencing only. Okay. So you don't have to bother about that part. Now, one more thing which I wanted to tell you when it comes to the table. For example, I'm calculating a tax column. Okay, so as soon as I added one more column, I have noticed that this column is also a part of this table now. Okay, now the tax is being calculated. Tax is somewhere around 12% of the total price. Okay, so let us calculate that is equal to this cell into 12%. One thing which I wanted you to notice here is two things. One, as soon as I enter the data, as soon as I press the enter key, I've got all the cells below that populated automatically. I did not drag it. No dragging is required. If it is a table, the first column, first row, if you are giving a formula and you are pressing the enter key, you get all the other rows populated. Now, second thing which we need to notice here is, here also, this is also structured referencing, but I did not use that table. Why? Because I am inside that table. I'm inside that table. One more thing. Can you see this symbol, @ symbol? What is this symbol talking about? This is actually, we are referring only one particular cell in this row. Okay, in total price field, we are referring to only one particular row cell. That is why we are getting this @ symbol. Okay? And let us assume we are calculating the tax outside the table, not inside the table. I am calculating the tax of this particular value outside the table. Now let us select this. Let me select this cell. As soon as I select this cell, I have got the structure referencing automatically populated, and here I have the table name also, because I am referring to this table from outside the table. I am not inside this table now. That is why I need to call this table name first. And at the same time, here also I have got the @ symbol, because I am only referring to one particular cell in the whole field. Okay, if you don't have the @ symbol, then if you don't have the @ symbol, then the whole field will be treated as selected. Clear? And here you can put even 12%. I will get the answer here also.
Sir, can
So
you,
this is
like,
how you refer.
your screen get paused or something like that? Can you stop and resharing again?
Actually, in desktop only. I don't know what is happening. From today morning onwards, we are having
Net
this
issue.
problem.
I think it will be related
Maybe
to
net
net
issue also. Correct. I will share the screen once again. Screen is visible?
Just hold on, sir. No, sir. Can you stop and share the whole screen, entire screen?
One second. Please check with the students also, okay? Because if it is your system problem is like yesterday.
Okay, just share the one, so I will check it with the students also.
I've shared it
Students,
again.
can you just
Can you confirm if the screen is visible?
Screen is visible or not? Can you confirm? Students, only 1 or 2 students can confirm, please. No, sir. No, sir. The screen is not visible.
I'm not able to get. I'm not able to
I
understand
think
what is the problem.
right now it is visible. Right now is visible. Just
right now I actually stopped. I stopped the share. One second.
Okay,
I'll share it again.
Okay.
I think
sir.
it's taking time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let us wait for 1 minute.
Student, I think right now screen is visible. Just confirm me right now. Only 1 or 2 student can confirm it is okay for me, rather than everyone is. Students, can you just re-logging? Yes, sir. It is visible now. They are saying.
It's visible now?
It's visible now, sir.
Okay. In between, I got a question. Somebody was asking, why did I use this order data twice? I used the order data table name here and here also. Can't we use it only once? No, because this is one field and this is another field, and we are outside the table. If we were inside the table, you don't have to put the table name at all. But when we are referring to each field outside the table, for each field you have to call the table name also. For each field you have to call the table name also. There is no function called sumif and, but we have another function called sumifs. We'll try to explain the concept we have put in the notepad. Okay. Again, I think I believe you did not attend yesterday. Yesterday we had talked about the normal cell normal referencing. Okay, where we used the cell addresses to refer a particular cell or to refer a range. Okay, then we also learned about naming a range and using that name in any formulas. That was second type of referencing. And third type, we have just learned it now. It is called a structured referencing. Structured referencing only works with the table data. Only if it is a recognized table in Excel, we will be able to use the structured referencing. Now, in the table name, in the structured referencing, the table name should come first and followed by the field name. Field name should be wrapped inside a square bracket. So this is what we have told in this is what I have explained in Notepad. What's the order table? Order table is the order data is the name of that table. Again, I think you have missed. We had given a name to this table. How do we know that? Go to the table design here. This is my name of this table. Okay, I had given this name to this table. By default, it will come as table 1, table 2 and all. But I have changed the name on my own. And that name is being used there.
Just a moment, sir.
Okay.
Dear student,
I think one more.
All the question which you have said, it already published in a published section. So don't repeat the same question twice. Otherwise, I have to dismiss that question because already published in the section. Just wait for the answer.
Yes, we will read out all the questions. Definitely, we will go through all the questions. Now, somebody was asking me how to use this tax calculation. So what I wanted to tell here was, here I'm going to calculate 12% of this particular value in this cell. Okay, as soon as I gave a heading tax 12%, as soon as I did that, this column also had been made a part of this table. Okay, now is equal to, when I select this value, this is being referred like this. In this case, order data, the table name is not given. We don't have to use table name here because we are already inside the table. In that case, if we are referring a cell in the same table, you don't have to name that cell. Okay, name that table. Into 12%. As soon as I press the enter key, all the rows in this column has been populated with the tax calculation. All the rows has been populated. Clear? And one more thing which we have to understand is, when we are referring to one particular value in a whole field, In that case, we will use this @ symbol also. Actually, I did not put it. When I selected this particular value, I got @ symbol automatically. But if you wanted to select this manually, then you will have to put the @ symbol manually only. This denotes, @ symbol denotes the current row. That was what we had covered in the tax column. Okay. Thank you, Mayank. I think I did not miss any questions. What total row? Okay. Somebody was asking me for the total row to be explained again. I'll do that. How to convert the data into a table, that is already taken. How do you? Okay. I think all the other questions has been taken. Somebody was asking me to explain the total row again. To add a total row, go inside the table, go to the table design. Inside the table design, there is something called a total row. Check that button. Check that button. So automatically, normally you will not get all these things. Okay. So when I add a total row, I get another additional row at the bottom of the whole table. Okay. When I am getting a total row, if you wanted to get the sum of the quantity, you can just select that cell, click on this drop down and click on the sum. So I'll get the sum. You don't have to write the function for that. Here, I wanted the average of the unit price. I'll click here. I'll click on this drop down. I'll click on the average. I've got the average also. This total is automatically calculated. When I enabled the total row, my last column is automatically calculated with the total. So that is about the total row. Each type of the item has a different rate of tax. In that case, you will have to add a column here. If you will have to add a column here with the tax percentage. You can add the tax percentage here, and you can manually put the tax percentages for each item, and then you can put a formula by multiplying this value into this value, like that. Okay. Now I think there are no more questions in terms of table. Let us move on to the next topic. Okay. Now we are going to learn another feature in Excel called data validation. First, let us understand the importance of data validation. Now, imagine you are assigned to create some MIS reports for a particular baking company. Okay, so you are assigned to create an MIS report for the whole baking company. You might have used some formulas. For example, SUMIF have been used to generate the report. COUNTIF might have been used. Okay, all these to generate the reports. While generating the reports, you would have used all these things. Okay. Now, before report, where will we get the report from? We will get the report from the data. Okay, data entered by the end user. Who is the end user? It can be a clerical staff or a cashier, clerk or a cashier or somebody else. This guy doesn't know Excel at all. They only know how to enter the data. That's all. They only know how to enter the data. So we are giving them a format to fill in daily, where we have a date column is there. Then we have the item name column is there. Then we have the quantity is there, and we have the unit price and the total price there, or the gross value. Gross value is there. You already have given a formula here in the gross value, that quantity into unit price is the gross value. That formula is already given. Now, this particular guy only have to enter the date, give the item name, give the quantity, and give the unit price. This one will be automatically calculated. Now, behind the screen in another sheet, you have used this SUMIF function and COUNTIF function. Clear? Who have done that? You have done that. Since you are an Excel expert, you have been assigned to create an MIS report on the basis of the data given by the clerk. Clear? As I told you, clerk doesn't know anything of Excel. He even doesn't know you have put some functions here in another sheet. He doesn't have to bother about that, because this report is for the management. This report is for the management, not for the clerk, not for you. Clear? All right. Now, what happens is that this format is also given by you. Okay, you have created the format because this is the data which you need to capture from the clerk. This is the data which you need to capture from the clerk, so that the function which you have used here will get the data. This function will take the data from this particular table and get the calculation done on the basis of this. Clear? So, like this, for example, let us assume that this is a cake vendor. It's a huge cake vendor. So again, there is a clerk or a cashier who will be entering the data on a daily basis. Red velvet. Okay, these are the flavors which is available with that cake vendor. Okay, let us assume that these are the flavors which is available by the cake vendor, in the cake vendor. This cashier is going to enter the data on a daily basis. So he will be entering the flavor name, he will enter the date, rate, quantity, and value. You have already given the formula to get the value. This is already done. That guy doesn't have to touch on this particular value column. Now, I am going to put, okay, let us assume I am the cashier, I am the clerk. I only know how to enter the data. So you have told me to enter the flavor name here. I'm not good in English also. In that case, I might write red velvet like this. Spelling mistake is there. Red velvet. Sometimes I'll write red velvet like this. Sometimes I'll write red velvet like this. Sometimes I'll be very correct and I'll be giving exact spelling of the red velvet. Okay, sometimes I will write red velvet like this. Okay, even if we might read red velvet, we might read red velvet for this. Excel will, for Excel, all these are different red velvets. All these are different red velvets. So what would happen? You would have put a sum if function where you are calculating the total value of all the red velvet cakes sold. Will you get the result correctly? You will not, because all these red velvets are different for Excel. So what is the solution here? One thing, we can educate that clerk. Baba, this is not the way you should write. You should give the spelling correctly. Okay. What will he tell? He would tell that, sir, I am having hundreds of words. I don't have time to check the spelling. It is your duty. You please do it. I can only enter like this. That can happen. That can happen. So maybe purposefully or by mistake, he will make mistakes again and again. So we wanted to stop that mistakes. We wanted to restrict that mistakes. How do we restrict? To restrict, we can ask Excel. We can ask Excel data entered. Okay, that is where we use something called data validation. You also might have encountered this, right? When you are filling up an online form, if you are giving some text value in the phone number, it will immediately give you an error. Please enter a valid phone number. Clear? So why are they giving that? Because using that phone number, they'll have to do something else also. They would have used this phone number field to calculate something else, to do something else, which will not happen. Maybe they would have connected their data to an SMS server, right? Connected that data to an SMS server, and every time there is a promotion happening, the SMS will be pushed to your mobile number. If you are giving a mobile number in a wrong format, SMS will not go. Clear? So they have created a data validation at the entry point itself. So just like that, in Excel also, we can create a data validation entry point. At the entry point itself, we can create a data validation, as if we are telling Excel to check the data whether it is valid or not. We are giving that job to Excel only. How do we do that now? Now I hope you understood the importance of data validation. Now, how do we get that done? First and foremost step, select all the cells. Select all the cells where the flavor name can be entered. Imagine the flavor name can be entered only till this point. Okay, this is the area which you have given. So I've selected maybe till 60th row. Okay, till 60th row I'll select. Now, step number 2. Step number 1 is to select the field, select the cells where possible data entry will happen. Second step, go to the data tab. Go to the data tab. Inside the data tab, you have a set of rules called a set of options called data tools. Okay, inside the data tab, we have data tools. Inside the data tools, you will find this particular icon. This icon is called data validation. Click on data validation. There are different type of data validations available with Excel. Different type of data validation is available. Now, inside the allow, under the allow button and allow field, you can see something called any value. Any value means now there is no data validation. Any value will be accepted. So click on any value so that you will find different type of data validations available. We are not going to look at all the fields, but we will see 2 or 3, a couple of data validation things. The other ones you can explore yourself. So here I am going to select the option called list. Okay, this is one type of data validation. List is one type of data validation. Inside the source, click inside the source box and select these flavor names. The flavor names, the master data has been written somewhere else. Okay, now I am selecting all the flavor names, all those cells where the flavor names is given. Okay, and click on OK. That's all. So here I'll take this list. Here I'll give the source and I'll click on OK. Now let us see what happens. Again, he is typing red velvet like this. Pressing enter, it will give you an error. It will not allow that value in this cell. What can he do? Either he can type the correct one, okay, or he can select it from this list. There is a drop down. Inside the drop down, you will have all these fields, all these values, which we had given in the source, red velvet. So he can select it or he can type the correct ones. Now he cannot make mistake. Even if he want to make mistake, he cannot make. So this is one type of data validation. This is called drop-down list data validation. This is called drop-down list data validation. Hope it's clear for you now. Okay. Now, in the rate column, he should not put anything other than number values, because he might put rupees 500. What would happen here? I'll get an error because this is a text value for Excel. This is not a number. So in this column, it should only allow numbers. Can we create a drop down from 1 to how much we will give? We cannot give a drop down like that, right? We cannot give a drop down with 1 to so many numbers. So instead, we can ask Excel to validate if this is a valid whole number or not. For that, again, I will select the whole cells where he is going to type the rate. Let us select till 60 only here. And I'll go to the data tab again. I'll click on data validation. In any value, here I am going to select the second one, which is called whole number. I'll click on whole number. Now, when I select whole number, here again there are some sub options. Sub options are available. Between is there, not between, equal to, not equal to. Here I am going to select greater than. I am going to select greater than. Rate will be any which ways greater than 0, right? So I am putting greater than 0. So now these cells will only allow whole numbers greater than 0. Click on OK. And here I am going to put that rupees 500 again. It will not accept. Okay, but if I am putting 500, it will accept. Now it will accept. Quantity also I will put so that I get the value calculated automatically. Clear? So this is another type of data validation. Now, when I am putting another value which is not allowed, the error which I am getting is this value doesn't match the data validation restrictions defined for that cell. Imagine this is being read out by a clerk or a cashier who doesn't know anything about Excel. So he'll ask, what is this data validation? What is this error all about? Okay. In that case, we can customize this error message also. We can customize this error message also. Let me select the whole cells again till 60. Okay, and I'll go to the data validation. Already we have the data validation here, and here you have a tab called error alert. There is a tab called error alert. In that error alert, you can choose this icon or this icon or this top icon. So one thing which we can customize here is the error icon. Then we can give the title. Okay, title may be invalid value. This is the title. We'll see what is this title when we are getting the result. We'll see what is the title. Now inside this error message, we are asking them, please enter a valid numerical value. Please enter a valid numerical value and click on OK. Now let us see what is happening if I am working against that data validation. See, I have got this icon, invalid value. This is the title of the message box, and this is the message. Please enter a valid numerical value. Now the people will understand, oh, okay, so that was the mistake I have done. Clear? This is how you customize the error message also. And one more thing you can do here is this work with any data validations, right? Okay. Need not be whole number data validation only. Any data validation rule you can have the error message customized. Now we have something called input message. What is this input message? I'll click on the title. I'll just give the title as value. Please enter numerical value only. Okay, now let us see what is this input message. See, when I am selecting this cell, now it is not there. When I am selecting this cell, we are getting a screen tip. We are getting a screen tip. The heading of the screen tip is value, and inside the value we have please enter numerical value only. This is how you get the input message. So even before they type something, you are giving an information. even after seeing this information, I am doing something wrong, it will give you an error message also. Hope it's clear now. So now this is about the data validation. Okay, now one more thing. Imagine I am adding one more value here. One more new product has come now. Maybe Dream. Okay, this is also come. Is that automatically getting updated? No. Dreamcake is not getting automatically updated. Now, in that case, we have to go here again. Again, go to the data validation. Again, change the source and select this Dreamcake also. Then only we will get. But every time changing this is bit difficult. It's not that easy task. Okay. So first thing which I am going to do here now is I am going to remove the data validation because I wanted to do this all over again. I'll go to here, list any value. So to remove the data validation, you have to go here and select any value. Okay. And click on OK. Now there is no data validations at all. This drop down list is also not seen. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select these data and I'm going to convert this to a table. I'm going to convert this to a table and I'm clicking on OK. All right, so I'll select the heading also and convert this to a table and click on OK. Fine. Now again I'm going to apply the data validation rule only for these cells. I'll go to data validation. Here I will take the list. Here source I will select this. Okay, and I click on OK. Now I am getting all these till the Dreamcake I am getting. Okay. Now I am going to add one more value. What will we add? Okay. At cake. Okay. I'll add KitKat cake also. Now you can see here KitKat cake is automatically got updated in this list. It has automatically got updated in the drop down list. So that is why I have created this to a table. As I told you earlier, when we talked about the table, I told you that whenever you add an entry adjacent to that table, that entry will also become a part of that table. That is what it is happened here. This data is also added, also a part of this table. Okay, so that is about the data validation. Now I am just pausing it here so that you can ask any doubts regarding the data validation. What is the function for rate into quantity? Which were no functions, only formula. Just is equal to rate value into quantity value. It is only formula. What if instead of flavor we add banking customer name and instead of the rate we add bank balance? If we add minus 500 number, does it take? In that case, See, if you have given the rule as greater than 0, then it will not accept minus 500. Then it will not accept minus 500. In that case, you will have to change that rule. In product master, create drop-down list. Okay. How to make this type of table which you used recently? Can we create a feature of to calculate income tax, as there are many features, surcharge, etc. Tax brackets as per the need. See, we cannot create a feature like that, but then you can see all these tools you can use there, no? All these tools which we have explained, you can use that. You can use that. If each type of item has a different rate of tax, okay, that is already taken, I think. Instead of writing the range, can we write the table name directly? No. Inside the data validation list, table name will not be taken. We have to select that data only. Table name is not accepted. Any other doubts on data validation, guys?
So only one question is I've added. Can you again tell me how to add a dream cake and how you write source?
Can you again tell me how you add dream cake and how you write source? How you write source? Okay. They are asking. I think this student is asking how to add, get the value automatically added when this value changes, when the list changes. Okay. All right, let me remove the data validation. Okay, I've removed the data validation. I'm converting this back to the range. Table design, I'll convert this back to the range. Now this is not a table at all. Though there is a formatting, still this is not a table. Okay, table functionalities has been removed from this for me to convert this to table again. Okay, how do we know whether this is a table or not? How do we know that? If we are clicking inside the cell and if we are getting a table design tab here, then it is a table. Now there is no table design tab. In that case, we can understand that this is no longer a table. Okay, format, though you are seeing this color, it doesn't mean this is a table. Even for a normal range also, we can have these colors. Okay, now let me do this again for these cells. I am going to go to the data tab. I will go to the data validation. I will go to the list one, and inside the source, I will select this value. Okay, and I'll click on OK. Now I am getting all these values. Now I am going to add one more value called, what will we add? I'm not really good in terms of cake names. Okay. Nut butternut cake. Okay, I'm adding one more flavor. Let me see if that flavor is getting added. I did not, because okay, I understood the mistake. I understood the mistake while I was creating this particular range. No, okay. Once again, I'll do this. I'll select these cells. I'll go to data validation. I'll go to the list. Here, I need to select from the heading. I did not select from the heading. Okay, I selected only partial of this data by mistake. That is why it was not showing. Oh, 1 second. Did I convert this to a table? Okay, I did not convert this to a table. Oh my God. Main part I forgot. Let me remove this data validation. Okay. So now I will select this data. I'll select this data, this source data, and convert this to a table. Control T and enter. Now this is a table. Now I am going to use this table as a source. Okay, 1 second. And data validation, lists. Here I am selecting the whole data and I am clicking on OK. Now I have got it till the KitKat cake. I have got it. Now I am going to add one more cake name, butternut cake. Okay, let me see if that is added. Yes, that is getting automatically added. Now this is, hope this is clear for you. Now let me add one more, let me open one more file where we are going to learn an advanced data validation. Okay, where is that? Just a second, I'm just searching for that file. Please hold on. I've got it. I'm sharing the screen now. Just a second. I am sharing the screen again. Students, please confirm if you can, if the screen is visible for you. Kunal, can you just check if the students have confirmed?
No, sir, still now no one has said, but right now I'm able to watch that dynamic drop down
Ha.
category, subcategory. For my
Oh.
side, it is visible, but still now they didn't confirm.
Okay, students, can you just
Students?
respond?
Only one or two students is respond. Thank you. No more response is required. Two students have said that it is visible, sir.
Okay. Okay, so now we are going to learn something called a dynamic dropdown. What is dynamic dropdown? We have a category here and we have subcategory. These are categories and these are subcategories. So we have the category fruits. Under the category fruits, we have three subcategories: apple, grapes, and orange. Under the category vegetable, we have tomato, potato, onion as the subcategories. So now imagine we are going to create a drop down here for the category, where in that drop down these three items are displayed, are listed. All the category names are listed in this particular drop down. Which are all the categories? Fruits, vegetables, dessert. Now we are going to create one more drop down here, but this drop down list should automatically change. It should dynamically change according to the selection we make in the category drop down. For example, I am selecting fruits. I am selecting fruits in the category drop down. I have not created a drop down. Don't get confused. I am just giving you an example. Okay, only to give an example, I am just typing it. I have not created a drop down. So imagine there is a drop down called fruits, vegetables, and dessert in category, and I am selecting the fruits from that particular drop down. Now in the subcategory, we have, it should show apple, grapes, and orange. Category drop down should have apple, grapes, and orange. Now I am changing this drop down to vegetables. I'm changing this drop down to vegetable. Then this should automatically get changed. Dynamically, this drop down values has to be changed to tomato, potato, and onion. This is called a dynamic drop down. So a drop down which is for which the list is getting changed dynamically according to the selection in another drop down. Okay. So that is called a dynamic drop down. A drop down for which the list is getting dynamically changed according to selection in another drop down. According to selection in another drop down. This is called dynamic drop down. Okay, now let us learn how to create this dynamic drop down. Before that, we need to understand a function, a new function here. Okay, we are going to learn another new function here called indirect. There is a function called indirect. Now let us assume let us assume I have a value of 20 in B2. In the cell B2, I have a value 20. Now I am going to put a formula here is equal to this cell. There is no symbol, no arithmetic symbol, nothing. I am just putting is equal to B2. What value will I get in this D2? What value will I get in D2? I'll get 20 only. I'll get 20 only, right? And when I'm changing this value here, automatically this value will also get changed because we have referred this cell. We have referred this cell by using is equal to symbol. Clear? Now, in this cell, I am going to put a value called A2. Okay. In the B4 cell, I am going to enter a value called A2. Guys, I wanted you to listen this, focus. Okay, because please focus on this because this might be a bit confusing. You will be able to understand this fully only if you are attending to this whole function explanation in a focused manner. All right. So please be attentive so that you will understand this function. Okay. Coming back to this example, in the B4 cell, I am putting a value called A2. Now, if I am putting directly is equal to this, what will I get? I will get A2 only, right? I will get A2 only. Now, imagine in A2, I have a value called 10. This is not there and this is not there. Don't confuse. Let us not confuse. In A2, I have a value 10. In B4, I have given this A2 cell address. Okay, I have not put is equal to nothing. I have just put the cell address. That's all. Now, I am going to put a function called indirect. Indirect of B4. I am going to put a function called indirect of B4. Press enter. What did I get? I got 10. Where did I get this 10 from? Because there is a value called 10 in A2. If I am changing the value in A2, 20, this cell also will get updated. So what will this indirect function do? Indirect function will convert the value inside the cell to a valid cell address. Okay, indirect function will convert value in this particular cell in B4 because we have given B4. So whatever is there in the B4, Excel will try to convert this to a valid cell reference and look for this cell reference. It will go to that particular cell reference and fetch the value from there and give it here. Okay. So what happens? 1 second. I'll just take an arrow mark. Okay. What is happening? So when I'm putting B4, Excel will see what is there in B4. Okay. When I'm using the indirect function and referring to B4, Excel will see what is there in B4. If this is A2 in the B4 cell, it will be searching for this particular cell reference. It will search for this particular cell reference. Okay, and it will find that cell reference. It will go to that cell reference and fetch the value in this cell reference and get it in this particular cell. Now, Imagine this is not a cell reference. I am just putting a hello here. It will give you an error because there is no cell which is called hello here. There is no cell which have this particular cell address. This is not a valid cell address. Excel is not able to find this cell address. That is why I am getting an error. All right. Okay. Now, imagine we had a name like this. Imagine this cell is named as hello. Okay, I'm going to give this particular cell a name. You know how to change the name. We already had seen that in our day one class. Okay, I'm going to give hello as the name for this particular cell. Which cell? For A2 cell, I am giving this name hello. Okay, now I am going to do the same thing in direct cell. Press enter, I am getting 20. Because now Excel can identify what is this cell and what is the value in this cell. It can go to that cell. Hope it's clear for you. So that is indirect function. So indirect function will see what is the content in the cell which is specified as the parameter, and it will look for that particular cell reference inside the worksheet. If that is a valid cell reference, it will go to that cell reference and fetch the value and get it here. If it is not a valid cell reference, it will give you an error. Is that clear? Is that clear? Okay. So we have seen two cases where one case I have given the correct cell address only. Another case I have given a name to that cell address and I am referring that name. That's all. Now let us come back to this particular example again. All right, let us come back to this example. Here I am going to create a drop down with fruits, vegetables and dessert in the list. Okay, I'll go to the data tab. I'll give the data validation rules, and here I am going to put it lists. I am going to take the source as fruits, vegetables and desserts. These three cells I am taking, and I am clicking on OK. Now see, in this drop down I have got fruits, vegetables and dessert. So vegetables I have taken. All right, wait. Okay, now here I am going to create another drop down. Okay, again data validation, but in this case I am not going to select the list because I cannot specify one single list. It should dynamically change every time, right? So I cannot directly take the list here. I should go for custom. Okay, before that, one more thing which we need to do. I'll remove this data validation also. Okay, before we go to data validation, before we go to any data validations, one more thing which we need to do is we are going to name these ranges. These three cells has to be given name as fruits. These three names has to be given name as fruits. These three cells has to be given name as vegetables. I've already done that, but I'm explaining to you. These three names has to be given name as vegetables. These three names has to be given name as dessert. Okay, so these three cells is fruits, these three cells is vegetables, and these three cells are dessert. We already know how to name the ranges. I am not explaining that again. I have already given these range names. So this range is fruit, this range is vegetable, and this range is dessert. Now I am going back to the data validation category cell. I am clicking on the data validation and I am clicking on any value. Here I'll choose the list, and inside the source I'll select these three values. Now I'll click on OK. Now I have got all the names here. Okay, all the category names here. Now in subcategory I am trying to create another drop down, but in this case I am not going to choose list. In this case I am not going to choose list. What should I get? I should take custom. I must select the custom. When you select the custom, you have an option to enter a formula here. When you choose the custom, you have an option to enter a formula here. So inside the formula box, put is equal to symbol and put indirect, the function which we have learned right now. Inside the indirect, I am choosing this cell. Inside the indirect, I am choosing this cell, A3. Okay, I'll click on OK. Oh, sorry, 1 second. Let me choose the list. Okay, we can choose the list only. Sorry. Extremely sorry. We don't go for custom. We can choose the list only. But inside the source, do not select this value. You need not manually select this value. In this case, I am putting a formula. That's all. That is the difference. Okay, inside the source box, inside the source field, do not select it as we do normally. Instead, put an is equal to symbol and put this function indirect. Inside indirect, select this cell and close the bracket and press OK. Let us take vegetables here. Let us see what is happening. I am getting all the vegetable names. Let us take dessert here. I am getting all the dessert name. Let us take fruits name. This is dynamically changed to fruit names. So how did this happen? Since we had used indirect function, what happened was this value, Excel will look for this value as a cell reference. Is there a cell? Is there any range in this reference? Yes, we had created a range in this reference, in this name. Which is that range? This is that range. So we are asking Excel to create a drop down with the values to create a drop down. So okay, before that, let us just try indirect function without going to data validation. Let us see what happens. Indirect of A3, enter. What did I get here? I got three names here, right? I'm changing this to vegetable. What did I get here? I got all the vegetable names. I'm changing this to dessert. This is automatically changed to the dessert. So this is what it is happening. So inside the source, this function is getting executed. Inside the source, this function is getting executed. Just like this. And this values are being added automatically to the drop down list. This is called dynamic drop down. So step number 1, okay, I'll just repeat the steps. Step number 1, to create a dynamic drop down, name the ranges. I am just giving only name the ranges. So whatever list you need to create, all those lists, okay, all those lists should be given separate names. Okay, name the ranges. Second step, create the parent dropdown. This is the parent dropdown in our case. In our case, this is the parent dropdown. Okay. And then create child dropdown. Which is the child dropdown in our case? Our case subcategory is the child dropdown. Now, inside the source field, inside this source field, enter a formula indirect of, in this case, select the parent drop down field, drop down cell. Wherever we have created the parent drop down, that cell has to be taken and given as the attribute for the indirect function. So once we give that, your dynamic drop down will be ready. So two things we have learned now. We have learned indirect function and dynamic drop down. Though it's not very much used, you might be able, you should be able to, you should understand these functions are available. I am pausing it here. Any doubts we can ask. And Kunal, what we will do is we'll break for the, that half an hour break we will go for now, because next topic, it might take more time. Kunal, is that okay? It's already.
Yes, sir. Not an issue.
Yeah, so we'll take the questions.
Lastly, we can take the question and then we'll wind up the session for today. Then we will meet it by 3:30 next.
By 3:30, we will assemble back.
Yes, sir. Dear student, right now, do you have any question? You can ask it right now. Within 5 minutes or 6 minutes we have left. After it, we can wind up the sessions for today.
Yeah. How to do if there are 2 or more cell references? How to do if there are 2 or more? Can you elaborate on that question? Why you use $8, $3 in the source? And okay, see, when you are selecting from inside the data validation rule, it automatically converts to an absolute value, absolute reference. That is automatically converted. Now, screen visibility, I have switched it off. As I told you, we are winding up the session now after the question. After the question session, we will wind up the session and we'll assemble back at 3:30. Dates of Microsoft exams after the classes are over. I don't know. That I think whether Kunal can answer on that question.
Yes, sir. Once the class gets over, we will give a gap of some time, and you will get a notification in your assessment portal with the exam dates. Some of you have got Narji Vidya, some of you have got Narji 360. According to your assessment portal, you will get the notification for the upcoming exams. So for that, you have to wait. We will notify you over the mail as well as in the assessment portal.
All right. Thank you for your comment. Please.
Sir, only one question I think is left. Again, they want to know the
Explain
dynamic
explain
validation.
dynamic validation again.
That's only the last question we have.
Okay, I think, see, explaining that again, once again, will take some time. What I would suggest is you try this out. Okay, you try this out as according to whatever I have explained now. I have explained this twice now. After you try it out, if you have any doubts coming up, please feel free to ask me on the next class. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
With this specific error, with this specific thing which you have.
Yes,
don't
sir.
ask me to explain it again. It will be time consuming. The others will get bored.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I think, sir, that was the last question. I think we can wind up this session for now. Again, we will meet at 3:30.
Sure.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, student. Just be stay tuned to for the next class is 3:30. We will again rejoin. For now, we are ending the session. Thank you.
Thank you.